Hello dear students. In the previous class we learned about quadrilateral, its sides, vertices, angles. We also learned about different types of quadrilaterals, regular and irregular quadrilaterals. Also we learned about convex and concave quadrilaterals. Today we are going to learn little more about quadrilaterals. That is, today we will learn about opposite sides, adjacent sides, opposite vertices and adjacent vertices, then opposite angles and adjacent angles. All these things we are going to learn. Along with that, we will learn about the speciality or the some of the angles of the quadrilateral. Like that, some more properties we are going to learn today. So first of all, opposite sides and adjacent side. Now, if you take this quadrilateral, the name of the quadrilateral is PQRS. We know that the sides, how many sides are there? 4 sides. Which are the 4 sides of the quadrilateral? First side PQ, QR, RS and SP are the sides of the quadrilateral. Which are the vertices of the quadrilateral? P, Q, R and S. These 4 points are the vertices. Now, which are the angles? Angle PQR, angle QRS, then angle RSP and angle SPQ. These are the angles of the quadrilateral. Now, which sides are called adjacent sides? What is the meaning of the word adjacent? Adjacent means next to each other or nearby. Okay. So here, nearby sides. How will you decide whether they are nearby sides or not? Now, if you take these 2 sides, it has a common vertex. If you take these 2 sides, it has a common vertex. If you take this side and this side, this is common. And if you take these 2 sides, this is common vertex. So, the 2 sides which have a common vertex or common end point. You see here, this line segment starts from here and ends here. And this line segment starts from here and ends here. So, this is the end point of the line segments or end point of the sides. That is called vertex. So, this point is common for these 2 sides. So, these 2 sides are adjacent to each other. Similarly, if you take this side, PQ and QR, Q is common point or Q is the common end point. So, these 2 sides are adjacent. Similarly, if you take QR and RS, R is the common end point. So, these 2 sides are also adjacent. So, if you see like that, see here PQ and RS. Sorry, here 2 sides which have a common end points are called adjacent sides. You see here PQ and QR. Q is common. Similarly, here QR and RS. R is common. RS and SP. S is common. And here SP and PQ. P is common. So, these are all pairs of adjacent angles. Sorry, adjacent sides. Now, if you take opposite sides, which sides are called opposite? See here, this side is opposite to this side. So, these 2 sides are opposite. Similarly, this side is opposite to this side. So, these 2 sides are opposite. How will you define them? What is special about them? The 2 sides which have no common endpoint. Here PS and QR. You see here PS and QR. No letter is repeated. That means no vertices are common. There is no common vertex. Similarly, PQ and RS. No letter repeated. No common endpoints. So, such sides, the sides which have no common vertex is called sides which have a common vertex are called adjacent side. Similarly, if you take vertices, you see this vertex and this vertex. If you take P and Q, first thing, they are nearby vertices. Second thing, this common to these 2 points P and Q, there is a side PQ, or PQ connects P and Q. Okay, if a line segment connects, or a side connects 2 vertices, or if there is a common side for both the vertices, then those vertices are called adjacent vertices. Here you see P and Q are adjacent, Q and R are adjacent because QR is common to them. R and S are adjacent, S and P are adjacent. Okay. Now opposite vertices. Opposite vertices means for those 2 vertices which have no common side. You see here, if you take this vertex and this vertex, P and R, there is no side connecting them. Similarly, Q and S are opposite vertices. So we learned about opposite sides, adjacent sides, opposite vertices and adjacent vertices. Now we will learn about opposite angles and adjacent angles. Now we learned about opposite sides, adjacent side, opposite vertices and adjacent vertices. Now let us see what are opposite angles and adjacent angles. See here, 2 angles which have a common arm are called adjacent angle. Means if you know that every angle has 2 arms and a vertex. Now if you take 2 angles of a quadrilateral and that 2 angles have one side common, that is one common arm, then the 2 angles are called adjacent angles. Let us see here. You see, if you take PQR, this angle, PQ is QP, or PQ is one arm and QR is another arm. Now if you take this angle, which is the angle QRS, which are the arms of this angle? QR and RS. In both this angle, this side is common. So these 2 angles are called adjacent angles. So what are adjacent angles? 2 angles which have a common arm are called adjacent angles. How many adjacent pairs of angles are there in a quadrilateral? Let us see. Here, angle PQR and QRS. You see here QR, common arm. Angle QRS and RSP. So RS is common. Here RSP and SPQ. And SPQ and PQR. So see, we get 4 pairs of adjacent angles. That means these 2 are adjacent angles. This angle and this angle are adjacent. This angle and this are adjacent. And this angle and this angle are adjacent. Means if you take one angle, for that particular angle, for this angle, this is adjacent, this is adjacent. For this angle, this and this are adjacent. And for S, P and R are adjacent. For P, S and Q are adjacent. So for every angle of the quadrilateral, got 2 adjacent angles. Now 2 angles which have no common arm. If there is no common arm for the angles, then they are called opposite angles. Let us take example. If you take, instead of this, these 2 angles, angle Q and angle S. Angle Q means PQR. Angle S means RSP or PSR. Here if you see, these 2 arms are for this angle and these two arms are for this angle. There is no common arm. Such angles are called opposite angles. Similarly, if you take this two, angle SPQ and angle QRS, which are the arms of this angle? This one and this one, these two arms, PS and PQ. And for this, which are the arms? RQ and RS. So for this arms, these two are, for this angle, these two are the arms. And for this angle, these two are the arms. So there is no common arm. So angle P and R are opposite angles. Now let us see what are the exterior angles, or what is meant by exterior angle of a quadrilateral. Now you see, you already know interior angles. Interior angles means the angles which are formed inside the quadrilateral. How many interior angles are there? You see here, 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are all interior angles, angles formed inside the quadrilateral. Now how will you form an exterior angle? I think in class 7 you have already learned about triangles and their exterior angles. Here also in the same way we will make exterior angles. Exterior angles are formed by two arms. Which are the two arms? The extension of one side. Okay, this side is extended and the other side. So that is angle formed by any one side and the extension of its adjacent side. So here there is an angle formed. Okay. This angle is called exterior angle. What is it called? Exterior angle. What is this angle called? Interior angle. Now, at the same point, I mean at this vertex, if you extend this angle, this side, here also you get an exterior angle. This side extended and with this one side you get another. These two angles will become vertically opposite. So, these two will be equal. Similarly, if you have this side, this vertex, if you extend this side, here you get one angle, and if you extend this side, here you will get an angle. So how is an exterior angle formed? Extending one side and taking the adjacent side, you get an angle. Okay, let us see. If I take this side and extend this side. Okay, so here I will get one. And if I extend this side, here I will get. Okay, so these two are equal. Similarly, here these two are equal. There is one more relation. If you see this full angle, one exterior angle and its interior angle, together it will form 180 degree. So the properties all together we will learn, but you should know what are exterior angles and how many exterior angles will be there for a quadrilateral. See, at each point you have 2. So here 2, here also 2, here also 2, here also 2. Total how many? 8 exterior angles will be there. How many interior angles? 4. 4 interior angles and 8 exterior angles will be there. And all at a particular vertex. If you take at this vertex, these 2 exterior angles will be equal. At this vertex, these 2 exterior angles will be equal. Here these 2 will be equal. And here this side, these 2 will be equal. So exterior angles at a particular vertex. Two exterior angles at a particular vertex will be always equal. They will be actually opposite to each other. Vertically opposite angles they will be. Okay. So for a quadrilateral, how many exterior angles will be there? 8 exterior angles. How many interior angles will be there? 4 interior angles. Okay. Now more about exterior angle and the properties of interior angles or the sum of the angles of a quadrilateral. That all we will learn in the next class. That's all for today. Thank you.